Hey folks, if you're still with us, welcome back. We are in the middle of getting ready for our second match we'll be covering here this afternoon. It will be RMU Navy versus Slippery Rock. I'll be entirely honest, I don't know how these teams did in their first game. This is the second game for both of them. But I'm pretty sure the Colonials at least won one of the games they had on the blue side, so either they tied or won their series against Clarion. Slippery Rock, I'm not entirely sure. We were busy setting up for the RMU Red game. But we will be coming to you live when this game is just about ready to get going. It'll be myself and Caden McCrory, who is joining us here on Color Commentary. We're going to be having a bit of a rotating cast of characters on the mic throughout the afternoon here, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes here with Game 2. It'll be RMU Navy versus Slippery Rock. Caden, anything you want to add?
It's going to be a fun one. That's all I can say.
Alrighty, we'll be right back. Alrighty, folks. They have done the opening handshake line, and we are just about ready for RMU Navy versus Slippery Rock. Should be a fun one. We get to see the other half of this Colonial squad in action. They've broken them up into two teams today, so they have the opportunity to, get more people to play today. So the RMU Navy roster includes Emmeline Malcolm, Kate Hovanek, Juliet Molinaro, Kenzie Olwine, Liz Sarsnick, Lauren DeBucci, Victoria Ely, Julia Reynolds, and Morgan Cholowa. So that is the other half of the Colonial side that we'll get to see in action here for Game 2. Well, I guess Match 2 that we're covering.
Yes.
This is Game 1 of Match 2. Terminology always throws me off with this sort of stuff.
It's the early morning kind of getting to our heads here, Alex.
Yeah, we've had a long weekend. We had men's club volleyball yesterday morning, women's club hockey yesterday afternoon, men's club hockey last night, and we're back out here for women's club volleyball this morning. So certainly a busy weekend here in the RMU rec sports world. It's nothing new necessarily, but I'll be honest, for me personally, I'm glad this is the last insane weekend that we've got. After this, everything comes a lot more
laid back.
Yeah,
let's say that.
One or two games a weekend at most, as opposed to 4.
Yeah, it'll be a nice breath of fresh air to focus on some of these other teams too as hockey season starts to wind down.
Absolutely, including our women's club volleyball team as this one gets underway. That one played up and over, and Slippery Rock hit that one probably about 25 times. That'll be an opening point for RMU. I believe it was Lauren DeBucci, one of the seniors up the middle there, who was able to get that point to go.
Yeah, Slippery Rock just got, I think, a little bit confused. They're trying to get their hands underneath them here in the beginning of this game. I think they just came off the court playing against Clarion, which was a very close match. I'm not sure who won, but both sides looked like they had pretty promising starts.
Absolutely. As this one goes up for DeBucci again, that one returned, though, by Slippery Rock, and the battle is on. That one by Emily Malcolm, dug out nicely, though, by the Slippery Rock end. And not able to get there in time was Sarsnick, so it'll be a tie game early. I feel like the opening couple points in a volleyball game is always so crucial because I feel like it really sets the tone on how the rest of the game is going to go.
It's all about momentum swing. It's like that in any sport. You get out early, you get the momentum on your side, and after that you can roll. You can make those mistakes and still feel, okay, it's only 1 point, we're good. We can keep going with this lead.
Yeah, absolutely. As that is going to be, oh no, the Slippery Rock dug that out. I could have swore that hit the ground, but play continues. A great effort by the Slippery Rock side to dig that one out from what couldn't have been more than an inch off the ground, and they ended up getting the point as well. That one getting knocked down by London Cutter.
I don't know how that stayed, and that's 2 points in a row. Slippery Rock have almost got entirely down to the floor to keep that ball alive. And Slippery Rock, they're playing a little dangerous game right now, but they got the lead.
Yeah, I mean, they literally, then we wanted to do the instant replay to see if the hand got under there, because that one looked like it was on the floor. But either way, Cutter will send it across for Slippery Rock. RMU sets it up. DeBucci with the spike, got him with the off-speeder to the near side, and we've got ourselves a tie game.
Picking corners like Roman Kramer in club hockey. Right on that corner, worked its way out. We're tied up at 2.
2-2 your score here, and it will be a serve here for number 3, Kate Hovanek for RMU. That one goes up and across. RMU getting ready for the set play here. They go over to the far side with Emily Malcolm. RMU able to keep it alive after it got blocked by Slippery Rock. Coming back the other way now. Trying to get under it, and DeBucci got under it at first, but both players went down, so no one was able to go over to the sideline and try and play it back over. Slippery Rock's point, score now 3-2.
The wall has not been the friend in favor of the Colonials in both games we've seen, both with RMU Red and now with RMU Navy.
Yeah, is that one a nice serve there by the Slippery Rock side. Sarsnick tried getting under it, unable to do so, and it is now the first multi-point lead of the game for either side. As Slippery Rock leads 4-2, and immediately will serve it into the net, invalidating the statement I just made.
It's kind of like the commentator's jinx, I'd say, really. I mean,
I've noticed lately, I have been really bad with it. Like, anytime someone gives me a microphone, it's been, like, almost immediate something has happened like that. So it always makes me a little hesitant to be like, here's my take on it, because immediately something like it happens. But either way, it'll be, I think, Debucci stepping in a moment. Score 4-3 in favor of Slippery Rock. RMU, though, with a chance to tie it up here. Slippery Rock under it. And played through and back. That was number 17, Morgan Cholowa, who got that to go all the way back over a couple of Slippery Rock defenders. Tie game, 4-4.
RMU, I think they kind of like playing down. They've seen to get the momentum on their side. I think from the serve here, they've just really taken advantage of an opportunity and get this game all tied up at 4.
Absolutely. Debucci's serve goes up. Slippery Rock trying to play it across and does, but it's dug out there by Sarsnick. Played over at the last second there by Hovanek. Met at the line there. Debucci pops it up. Gives it over the Cholowa, or Slippery Rock able to keep it alive. We've got ourselves quite the volley going here. Going up for the spike, but dug out nicely by the Colonials. Bit of a floater there by Sarsnick. SRU handles. Blocked at the line there by a couple of Colonials. Cholowa was one. Julian Molinaro was the other one. They blocked that one away. RMU's point, 5-4, their first lead of the game, I believe.
Yes, it is the first lead of the game. The Colonials, after a very nice volley from both sides, capitalizes on that point. That's one could really either go either way, and as we say, that it hits the net.
I tell you what, the moment it seems like one of these teams gets some momentum, immediately it just kind of stops. 5-5 currently the score, and it'll be number 10 serving for Slippery Rock. That is Jordan Burnett. Burnett ready to serve it across for SRU. Ball is up, played up by Sarsnick. Sent over and across, and that was a pretty powerful spike attempt there by Bella Gregory, but unable to catch the sideline. And RMU will get the point and the opportunity to serve it again, now with the lead 6-5. Very far back approach here for Emily Malcolm. She's going to, like, run up to the line.
She's going to use everything there to get that momentum going.
Yeah, and launch that ball over, but Slippery Rock handles it. Popped up and sent across with some power by that was Liz Sarsnick who just launched that ball.
Liz Sarsnick, I mean, she wound that up almost like a Kiowa, dang, right down Dragon Ball Z kind of move.
Yeah, really, that's what it felt like. We need to like put like the edit over it with like the Super
flames.
Saiyan line.
Yes.
Yeah. As another point there, as they were unable to handle the serve from Malcolm. And RMU starting to put together a little bit of a run here, the highest lead for either team so far at 8-5.
This is, I think, another crucial point. You go up by 4, make it 5 after that, and they've done really good off the serve here off the hand of Malcolm.
And we spike it right into the net. This is getting brutal up here. That's like 3 times already we've done that.
If this is our rest of their commentator jinx that we're going to use up today, I mean, I think I'll take it.
Yeah, I suppose it could be worse. So 8-6 currently the score. Ely's under it. Pops it over to Molinaro. And that one not able to stay in play for the Colonials here, and Slippery Rock pulls back to within 1 with Kate Duncan serving for Slippery Rock. That one chipped up there by the Colonials over to Sarsnick, but kept alive by the Pride. Popped back over. It's Molinaro. Gives it over to Sarsnick. Tries playing it to the back line. Or SRU handle it at first. But then just a bit of a miscommunication there. Unable to convert on the opportunity. And it'll be RMU's point. They lead 9-7.
The 2-point lead. It's a dangerous lead. But let's see if the RMU can capitalize off the serve. It looks like we'll have number 3 Harvnick coming in to take this one.
Yeah, and it looks like a substitution made there. Someone getting a well-deserved break. I believe that was indeed Hovanek. And coming in now is Kenzie Olewine to serve. Ball's across. SRU plays it up. Duncan over to Cutter. And that one will fall for SRU. Point there for the visiting Slippery Rock Pride. And I believe, yep, it is now a 1-point game once again. 9-8, Colonials lead.
Just splitting the defense. Perfectly placed shot there to get our Slippery Rock within 1.
Ely got under it, but wasn't able to play it to one of her teammates. Tie game now, 9-9, as it is going to be still the serve here for Bella Gregory of SRU. Served in and directly into the net. Bit of a running theme here so far in this. We didn't see it too much in the RMU Red versus IUP game, but we've seen it about 3 or 4 times already here, Caden, where it's just that ball. I think they're getting a little too, trying to get a little too precise with it, and they're not getting it over the net. Is Ely going to go for a long running start as well?
Must be a common thing here with these RMU serves, is they're going to use every bit of the floor that they can.
Yeah, absolutely. They're running about like half a length of the court just to get some momentum on that serve. And that one dug out nicely by SRU, still being batted around and still in play. Ely with a great dig, chips it over, and Emily Malcolm almost got it over the net, unable to do so. Pretty crazy back and forth there, but that will end in favor of Slippery Rock. Tie game, 10 apiece.
When it comes to these volleys back and forth, Slippery Rock has just somehow found a way to dig deep and keep that ball alive. Every single time we've seen long volleys, it's almost hitting the floor. And they use their body to get down, keep that ball alive. And all of a sudden, they were down by 3, and it's a tie game.
Yeah, I mean, like they, especially on those like longer volleys, it seems like they have the momentum as it stands as they serve this one in. Popped up there by Sarsnick, and that is Olwine playing it over. Malcolm had hit it across, but now SRU with the return. Ely gets under it with a good dig, and we'll play that one back across. Duncan sets up the teammate there for SRU. Meeting at the net and just a little too close to play it. SRU point, and they have retaken the lead 11-10. This is the first time they've led, I think, since around like the 5-4 mark or something like that.
Since pretty much the beginning of the game, RMU kind of held the pace here, and Slippery Rock had to play from behind, and now Slippery Rock with another easy point there after just a miscue off the hands of Sarsnick.
Yeah, and that one is, the one serving here is M. Ajak, who's serving for SRU, their libero. And they are putting, they've had a couple of good serves here as Ely goes to set that one up. Sarsnick with a bit of a spike. They were able to handle it for the moment, trying to get that one back across, not able to do so. RMU gets the point, and that all started from just SRU not being able to handle the spike from Sarsnick.
That power from Sarsnick, I believe she was the one that had the Dragon Ball Z kind of spike as well, if I'm not mistaken, Alex.
There's been a couple of those already. I mean, I tell you what, she is bringing the heat here early. As SRU now trying to set up something up on the attack, but RMU easily under it. Ely sends it over to Malcolm, splits the defense, and that is going to be, I believe, a tie game, 12-12. Yep, tie game.
Say the front players for RMU, and both on Navy and Red, have really been key factors in this game of keeping these balls alive. That Slippery Rock and then also in the first game, IUP just tried to put a little soft touch on to get them to miss, but the RMU offense has been pretty solid here to keep this ball alive.
Absolutely. I think another player who's having a great game so far has been Victoria Ely on the back end there. She's had a couple of really impressive digs, ones that I see, and I feel like my bones hurt trying to like move that quickly and that like out of like position trying to pop it out. Like I feel like I would like tear something immediately.
Both of us would probably be down on the floor for a couple of minutes after trying to make a play like that.
We should do some promo videos where it's like the RMU production staff tries whatever game and we take on the actual teams in that respect. I think that would actually be a lot of fun.
It would be a good content video, but I don't know how long we would physically survive throughout the video. This
Probably
would be
not
like
long.
filmed over a 2-week span because we have to heal after every single thing that we do.
Absolutely. So Slippery Rock leads 14-12. I really think we should do that. I think that's a great idea. Served in by Slippery Rock, and that one well past the baseline. RMU will retain the serve and pulls back to within 1 after the unforced error by SRU.
It's good to see these teams both. I love the back and forth. It keeps this game much more entertaining, to say the least. And we're getting RMU serve here, and let's see if they can try to tie this puppy up.
Absolutely. Hovanek with the serve. Popped up there by Jordan Burnett. So SRU answers, but it's Sarsnick. Over to Olwine. Gives it back, and a really nice spike from the back line by Kate Hovanek. And SRU looked like they had a chance to pop it up, but they just, like that ball dipped on them at the last second, and they had to dive down as opposed to across for it, and just unable to get there in time. That was a really nicely placed spike by Kate Hovanek.
it just had eyes on it. The ball just sometimes just, it's like that in any sport. The ball don't lie, and it just puts its way where it wants to go.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just think it has a mind of its own, says this is where I'm going to end up whether you like it or not. Slippery Rock, though, will take that point 15-14. Neither side really able to break away here in game number 1 of match 2. And just like that, RMU will tie it up. Subbing back in here is Morgan Cholowa. Coming off is Victoria Ely.
Yeah, Ely, well-deserved break. She's been out there since the beginning of this game. No breaks at all, and she'll probably go on for probably 1 or 2 and then get right back out there.
Absolutely. She is one of the more, one of the veteran players, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I remember seeing her last year when we covered their game versus Slippery Rock, ironically enough. And Sarsnick had to do a bit of a matrix thing, not to get hit in the head there from that spike from the SRU side. Really nicely played. I believe that was Kate Duncan on the spike. And they will retain their 1-point lead that they've been more or less trading back and forth since the early part of this game.
As you said, Alex, a little bit of that Keanu Reeves matrix move, but Slippery Rock does end up picking the corner to get the point. They love to go to that back right side, it seems like.
Absolutely. Served in there by Burnett. Unable to answer it was the RMU side. And now, I believe, it is going to be, a 2-point game. And with it being 17-15, both sides still very much in it coming down the stretch here. First, the 25 win by 2.
And Ely already back on the court. She was actually back on for the last serve. So only 1 play off for her.
Yeah, not much of a break as diving for that one was Hovanek, unable to get there in time. A really nicely placed serve, which is well. Jordan Burnett has, sorry, that's not even Burnett, that's Burkett. I can't read. Sorry. Jordan Burkett has had a couple of really impressive serves here in the early going of this match as Ely tries popping that one up, unable to direct it back toward her teammates, and the run will continue for Slippery Rock.
One thing we've noticed, we saw it yesterday with the men's volleyball game as well, you ride the hot hand of the server and it changes the momentum of the game. And, well, I forget exactly who they played. It was Carnegie Mellon yesterday.
Yeah.
They had 1 hot server in the first game. They were down by 5-6. They rode the hot hand, and all of a sudden they were up by 5-6 points.
RMU with a great job there to keep that one in play. Meeting at the net mouth there, Cholowa was able to block that initial attempt away. Getting hands under it there was Ely. Back over, and now it's Hovanek trying to get it across, and does, finally breaking the string of points here. RMU gets one back on the board. Started with a good block up front by Cholowa, and ended with the shot from Kate Hovanek.
Very close play there. Smart move from the corners to let that one go right out of bounds.
Malcolm serves it in, SRU to answer. Sends it across, but under it there was Malcolm. Sends it across, and Sarsnick able to get a hand on it to play it across. Cutter gave it over to her teammate there. That was number 4, Bella Gregory. The rally continues, and that one going to go out of play off the out-of-bounds pylon on the net. And RMU now, I believe, has dragged themselves back to within a point here. 2 points. 19-17 your score. Malcolm with the serve still. Met at the net mouth there. Popped up by Molinaro. Gives it over to Sarsnick, but dug out by London Cutter. Kate Duncan for SRU tries hitting it across, unable to do so. And Ely will play it back over for RMU. Sends it over to Hovanek, who hits it into the net. And now with the score being 20-17, even though it's not a huge gap, you got to wonder, do you think about using that time out trying to regroup here before the end of the game? Because even though you're still in it very much, only a couple-point deficit, there's not much time left in this game.
And my question to you, Alex, is it 1 per both games or 1 per game?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's 1 per game, so I think you'd get 2 in the match here. 1 for game 1, 1 for game 2.
In that case, yes. I think if depending how this volley goes, I would consider using the timeout.
Cholowa, nicely placed by Morgan Cholowa. Saw that the defense had kind of crept up to the center of the court and then just batted that one over to the far sideline, and there was no one in the same zip code as that ball.
Now to counter, if RMU gets this next point, if you're Slippery Rock, do you use your timeout?
That is possible. I would say maybe you wait if RMU ties it, if they get like 2 points in a row here. And that, I think, was out of bounds. Yep, out of bounds. Just missed the sideline by a little bit there, but score is now 21-18. SRU within 4 here as Bella Gregory goes to serve it for Slippery Rock. And that, I don't even think hit the net. I think it went under it.
Yeah, I think they just rolled off the hand a weird way and ended up rolling under. But for RMU, you're going to take any point you can at this late in the game.
Absolutely. So, as we Victoria Ely serving in from Robinson Township, going to run back in and launch this one into play. Shot is up. Popped up there. Sends it over to London Cutter. Ely gets, wasn't able to get entirely under it. Point there for Slippery Rock. Score is 22-19. SRU 3 points away from taking game number 1. RMU, though, I wouldn't say is out of it yet. They're still within some striking distance if they get on a run here.
One thing I'm seeing off this serve, they got 4 back.
Molinaro sends it over to Ely. Ely played to the back line, but it's picked up by Gregory. RMU with a bit of a miscommunication there. Ely and Molinaro kind of got in each other's way, unable to handle it. And with this in play, it is now only 2 points from the end of the game on the Slippery Rock side. RMU would need to string together 6 in a row here to pull this back.
It's not impossible.
Sends it over to Sarsnick, blocked away at the line. Got their hands up was Bethany Crut and was it number 6 or something?
Yeah, thanks, 6.
Yeah, and M. Ajak, the two who got their hands up for Slippery Rock to block that one away. Game point here of game number 1. Going in to serve here, it is Ajak. Ball goes up and out of play. So RMU with an opportunity now with the serve to more or less try and control their own destiny and get back into this one. They need 4 in a row to send this, I don't know, to extras. Like to send it to 26.
Technically it'd be extra time because then it still has to be a win by 2 scenario for RMU.
Absolutely. So Liz Sarsnick will serve it in. Served up there. And just a miscommunication on the Slippery Rock side. I think London Cutter and M. Ajak were looking for each other to pick up that ball. Neither did. RMU only trails by 3, but they need all 3 in a row here in order to keep this game going. Sarsnick serves it in. And Malcolm, is that Emily? That is Emily Malcolm. That ball got popped up right to her. The Slippery Rock defense was still recovering, and she just spiked it down on top of them, saying, nope, I'm not giving you the time to reset up. You're just going to have to live with the scenario you find yourself in.
It's a key 2 points.
Only 2 points away from potentially sending this to a first to 26 is Ajak not able to get a good handle on it. Flying in toward the bags in the back corner was one of the Slippery Rock players. Hopefully she's all right. Doesn't look like she made any real hard contact, but kind of had to hit the brakes at the last second there. 24-23, and Slippery Rock calls a timeout.
Yeah, I think that was a timely timeout there for Slippery Rock. They just let up a string of 3 points in a row. They're 1 away from tying the game. And you really need to regroup now. Regardless, I think, of RMU, if they don't get the next point and lose 25-23, what a string of events to end the game, get the momentum going into game number 2.
Yeah, no, this is certainly a rally you'd like to see out of this Colonial side after they found themselves backs to the wall here, needing 4 in a row. They've got 3 of the 4 they need, but they will need to come out of this timeout and get 1 more of them. Slippery Rock here just trying to escape game number 1 with the win. They looked like they more or less had it in hand, but when it came down to it, RMU has rallied back here and made this quite the game. But it'll still be Liz Sarsnick to serve. An opportunity to tie this one up at 24. Slippery Rock looking to put this one away 25-23. Here we go. Serve is up. Played by SRU. And it was a nice little subtle play to get that one over the net, but RMU handles it. Emily Malcolm plays it over. Goes over to the far side. Cutter completely whiffs on the baseline. And it is a tie game, 24-24.
Wow, RMU putting together a string of 4 or 5 points to tie this one up. Everyone counted them out. And now we'd be getting into a scenario where we're going to hit possibly over the 26 mark.
Substitution made as stepping in here is Hovanek for Jillian Reynolds. So it'll still be Sarsnick with the serve. The opportunity to take the lead here would have been their first lead since the middle of this game. That one popped up and met at the line by DeBucci, but it'll be a Slippery Rock point. That one had just trickled over the net. So now game point for the second time here for Slippery Rock.
Well, this is a dangerous scenario. Let's see how RMU plays defensively here. They're going to play 3 back, 2 to the side, 1 up front.
Picked up by Sarsnick. Over to Molinaro. Gives it over to Malcolm, who got it over, and a nice play by Emmeline Malcolm. Bella Gregory a bit handcuffed there. Couldn't quite get under it to pop that ball up. 25-25. Meanwhile, on court number 1, RMU Red lost their first game, taking on, I want to say, it was either Duquesne or Clarion, 25-20. So we'll see if RMU Navy has better fortunes here. As that one dug out by SRU, and now they're on the attack. Gregory pops it up. However, it goes over to Molinaro to DeBucci, and SRU still under it. DeBucci tries again. Couple opportunities in a row there, but SRU holds. Cutter back toward Ely. Popped over toward Malcolm. What the far side shot. What a ball by Ameline Malcolm. Looking like, Magic Johnson with the little fadeaway action. Or is that Kareem with the fadeaway?
Who's with the fadeaway?
Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember who the big fadeaway guy was. But leaning back, was still able to get enough power on it to get it across. Now game point for RMU as they lead 26-25. And Bella Gregory can't handle it. What a comeback by RMU Navy to take game number 1 here. 27-25 after they trailed 24-20 just 5 minutes ago.
What a comeback story for RMU Navy. You said they were down and out. Everyone thought this game was over, including us. We'd have to say, even the commentator jinx once again strikes again.
Yeah.
It was 23-19, and RMU says, yeah, we're not going to give up. Off the hand of Sarsnick, 4 perfect serves. Slippery Rock calls a timeout. And eventually RMU takes advantage of it and wins 27-25.
Absolutely. So we're going to go to a brief intermission, and we'll be right back in a couple of minutes with Game 2 of Match 2 here between RMU and Slippery Rock. We are back for Game 2 of Match 2 of this broadcast here. This is RMU Navy taking on Slippery Rock. RMU won Game 1 27-25 and quite the comeback. We'll have to see if Game 2 shakes out the same way or if one of these teams decides that playtime's over and just starts running the table.
It seems like it might be a common thing with RMU on this right court where they take game number 1 and don't do so great at game number 2.
You definitely just commentators curse that. I guarantee you.
That was the plan. That was the plan going in. I knew what I was going to say, and I said if the commentator jinx is real today, I'm going to say it.
All right. Well, it'll be M. Enzik serving it in. Ely gets under it, and we are underway here for game number 2. Is that one hit across by, that was Kate Hovanek. And eventually that'll lead to the first point of the game in favor of RMU. I believe it was Debucci who got the point.
It's a good little set of RMU kind of riding the wave that they had there from the last game. Let's see if they can continue this nice stretch of events here.
Served in by Hovanek and just ripped it past the baseline. Tie game 1-1.
Looked like she was trying to pick that back corner. Again, something that Slippery Rock did really well in that first game, going to that right side, left side of your screen. Let's see if they'll go off the serve to try to put that on again.
It's possible, but they've also got they have Ely over there, I think, to try and defend that because she's probably their best defensive player, at least through the early going. Is not able to really get a good hand on that one. And Slippery Rock will take the lead by a score of 2-1.
Say that ball almost went over to the court to the left of us here where RMU Red is playing.
Yeah, they're taking on Clarion right now. They did lose game 1, but they were ahead when we came back from the break here. I think they were up like 3-0 or 3-1 in that second game as we went back live here. But not able to get a good hand on it was Liz Sarsnick. And just like that, after conceding the first point, Slippery Rock has 3 in a row now.
I feel like between both of these teams, they're doing the try not to keep a lead challenge. Impossible edition. It
is impossible thus far as Sarsnick will play that over to Molinaro. And I think that's actually, that might be Gage Handwork.
Yeah, I was going to say,
there.
Is that Coach Gage Handwork over on the side?
Cameo appearance from one of the senior leaders of the men's club volleyball team making his appearance today, trying to help out the women's squad here in this battle against Slippery Rock. We actually saw him down at the island last night as well. We will be seeing him again come March when the men's club volleyball team plays Waynesburg on March 18th. So still a little ways away for that one, but we will be back with some more volleyball action before the end of the year.
Even though you said in the beginning we don't have a ton of events coming, we do have a lot of fun events, though.
We do. I know we have some club lacrosse, which will be a brand new one for us on the stream. I think the first one of those is actually like 2 weekends from now. I think it's February 26th.
Don't forget club baseball.
And club baseball, that'll be a new one as well. I'm so excited for that one. That'll be great. As Debucci tries playing that to the sideline, unable to get there, though, just a little too far. And Slippery Rock kind of quietly has developed a 6-1 lead here, Caden.
Yeah, it's been a good turn of events for Slippery Rock once again, just kind of capitalizing on the momentum and the hot hand of the server. And RMU just can't seem to find their rhythm here in the second game.
Finally, they get something to go here as Debucci powers it past the defensive hands of whoever was in front. It might have been Kate Duncan. And RMU now will, with the serve, it'll be Debucci actually to serve after getting the point.
I love being a jinx right now. Everything I say is contradicted right away.
As that one into the net, not going to clear. So now the score, 7-2 Slippery Rock. RMU Red leads 9-7 on the other court.
Okay.
We do have that game recorded, so we will upload that probably at some point after the fact. Might not have any commentary over it unless we get some people in the voice booth afterwards just kind of watch it back and talk about it, which I suppose we could do.
We could.
But either way, Slippery Rock very much in control of this game at the moment as it is 8-2 pretty early on.
It's been a back-and-forth game even though the score says 8-2, but there's been a couple of good volleys between both sides in Game 2. RMU, I think, just kind of feeling themselves out again after that first game.
Yeah, as that one blocked away by Slippery Rock, but it got blocked into the next zip code. Not able to get played by either side, so that will be a point for RMU. 8-3, Slippery Rock leads, and it'll be Emmeline Malcolm serving from back behind. It looks like the basketball inbound.
Yeah, almost the whole way back.
Yeah. Played by Mzak. Gives it over the London Cutter, and that was blocked away by Cholowa up front, but Slippery Rock retains possession. Malcolm pops it up over to Molinaro. Gives it back to Hovanek, who got that one blocked at the line. That was number 13, Bethany Crut, who blocked that one for SRU. That led to the point for the Pride.
Yeah, Molinaro, I think, was the one that had to go in a split there to try to keep that ball alive. Once again, we're out there trying to do that. Yeah, our hammies are getting pulled, no problem.
Oh my God, yeah. I used to be pretty flexible back when I played like roller hockey goalie, but that was also a few years ago and quite a few pounds ago. So that one popped up here, played by Bella Gregory, blocked at the line by Cholowa, but it is still kept in by SRU. Two Colonials meet to play that one up. Molinaro gives it back towards Sarsnick, and you know, the only thing saving Kate Duncan there from having that ball hit her face like Scott Sterling was the fact that the net was right there.
I would love I would love and hate this scenario to do a Scott Sterling. It would be funny, but also sad at the same time because someone is also getting hit in the face with a ball. That's really
which,
badly.
you know, as long as it isn't too serious, quite funny. But if it is serious, then a bit of a problem. But that was played over by Sarsnick. SRU holds on to it. Bella Gregory tried getting it over, but Morgan Cholowa has been an absolute force up at the front of the net. She already has a couple of blocks, and they've resulted in about half of RMU's points here. It is only 4, but 2 blocks is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's not an easy feat.
That's a stat I don't even think some basketball players can do. 2 blocks? I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I mean, you look at, you know, obviously you have a bunch of varying heights in both in volleyball and basketball, but I'm thinking about our own club team, and I'm thinking of like some of the guards, like a Jaden Bristol or Elijah Cross going up and like swatting something away, and it's just making me chuckle a little bit.
5'6" Jaden Bristol going all the way up to the rim to block a shot away.
Dude, he's not afraid to drive the lane, though. He is that is a tenacious man right there. I see the way he tries driving the lane against dudes like a foot taller than him, and I go, he's going to win that battle. he will get by him, but served in here by Olwine and into the side of the net. No go there for RMU. Ball will go back to Slippery Rock with the score 11-5.
It's something I just see in a bunch of sports, too. I've seen it in hockey before. Actually, the women's game yesterday, there's a bunch of, I think, 14U kids playing, and the smallest kid on the team was the one that was just driving through people, spending like 4'6", and just like, yeah, I'm just going to run through you.
As that one tried getting put up there by Jillian Reynolds, unable to go. Blocked away, and it is now 12-5. SRU more or less has been in control from the start here of Game 2.
Yeah, and it's almost could be identical to how Game 1 went, only without the changing of the guard and the leads.
Absolutely, and that one just played up into the rafters by Slippery Rock. So the serve will return to RMU, and it will be Victoria Ely to serve, and we know she likes to run up on these as well.
Let's see if she'll go over to Ohio to set this one up.
Seems about right, as we barely have her in shot. That's how far back she's starting this one. Serves it in, gets it over. Set up there, and blocked away by DeBucci at first. Able to play it back over was the Colonials. Over to Bella Gregory, who spiked it down, and just out of position was Emmeline Malcolm. Point for SRU. Really nice cross-court spike by number 4 there, Bella Gregory for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, Slippery Rock kind of taking a real good advantage of this lead, but over on the other court, RMU Red is now up 13-11 in their game number 2.
Absolutely. They need that, too, because they dropped game number 1, so they're looking to retain for the tie here, especially after tying IUP. They're just trying to keep everything sort of balanced for the bracket play later.
All I imagine is the Thanos thing, and I'm going to use the pen as an example here. Is everything is balanced as it should be.
So SRU leads by 6, but Liz Sarsnick steps in, and she was the one who had the hot hand at the end of Game 1 that helped lead the Colonials to victory. Served over by Gregory. Ely pops it up. Sends it over to Olwine, who covered a lot of ground, and good thing that worked in favor of RMU because they were pretty out of position by the time that one landed in favor of them. So if SRU got that one back over, they might have had some trouble.
Yeah, it was a bold try to send 6 to the front of the net almost there.
Yeah, so all to the front left, but luckily it worked out for him. As that one tries getting popped up, but Ely's under it, sends it over to Olwine. Goes back to the far side there, looked for Julian Reynolds, but just wasn't able to clear the net.
I don't think Coach Handwork is too happy about them as he goes to that whiteboard probably to draw something up.
The set plays in volleyball I always find are fascinating. There was a couple set plays we saw recently, like the opening face-off last night of that D3 men's club hockey game where Parker Smith goes streaking down like an arena football wide receiver. That was kind of wild. But sets up there, London Cutter pops it up. Nice diving play there by Sarsnick. Feeds it over to Debucci and popped up there again. That was Kendall Graham. They are going back and forth here, and there are people flying all over this court. Neither team in the same position that they started in. People have shuffled all over the place. Graham gives it back over to Mjak, trying to get it over, and actually was able to do so. And Debucci does not look too happy with herself. She feels like she should have had that one, and said that finds a way to just clear the net. And it's now 15-8 SRU.
What a fun volley. That's probably one of the best volleys we've seen here today, Alex.
As far as both duration and, like, chaos,
yes.
Absolutely. Because we had one in the first game of the IUP Army Red one. It was like a 5-minute volley, but it was very like a
no one really
set
moved.
structured. Yeah, that one there was people flying all over the place. There was people diving, and I was about to say flipping, but they didn't really flip. But you get the idea.
Yeah. you see a front man that's supposed to be going in the center there, going all the way to the backcourt to dive and make a play, and after that you have no one in front. It's just the chaos ones like that are always the ones that obviously are the most entertaining. And also the most skilled because you have to be everywhere and everywhere all at once pretty much at that
Absolutely.
point.
So RMU calling the timeout here, and I think that's probably a pretty good call. They were kind of falling out of contention here in this one. They need a second to kind of regroup and try again. We've seen them go on a big run before. They pulled out game one in pretty spectacular fashion, but they're even in an even bigger hole here in game number 2, and we'll see if they can work their way out of this one. Meanwhile, on the other court, it is 17-17 RMU Red and Clarion. One of the Clarion teams. There's 2 Clarion teams here today. But a tight one over there as well, as looks like we're just about to come back from the timeout here. 16-8 your score here, and RMU, they've got their work cut out for them if they want to get back into this one.
I mean, we've seen it happen already once today with this team, where they're down by 5, come back, tie the game, end up winning the game. This one just a little bit more than 5 this time around.
Absolutely. So here comes Slippery Rock with the serve. Malcolm's under it. Caught up front by London Cutter, but Ely's under it for RMU. Gives it over to Malcolm, who is able to keep it alive. And then Sarsnick just tried shunting it toward the front of the net. Unable to clear it, though. Point for SRU.
This SRU is really starting to run away with this one. The RMU just doesn't seem to be able to find the momentum that they kind of need after that timeout.
Yeah. Malcolm gives it over to Olwine. Back to Malcolm, and a nice play there, and I don't know if that went past the baseline or not.
So.
Just barely past the baseline, and that's a tough break there for the close. That was a really nice play there from Emily Malcolm, just a smidge too tough on the hit. And that one going toward the sideline, but picked up by Cutter. They feed it back to her, but Ely's under it. Gives it over to Olwine. SRU scrambles for it. Pop back over to Bailey O'Brien. Battling for it at the net. A lot of hits there for SRU, and I think that was one too many. It looked like there was a lot of hands on it, and seems like that was indeed the case. So it'll be RMU's possession here, finally with the score 18-9.
As you mentioned, a lot of hands up front, and you got to give a credit to the side judge there to watch all those things and make sure no one touched it a second time, or if that fourth hand did come in.
Yeah, I think that's what they eventually called it. Is that one into the net there? Bella Gregory not able to clear the net. So RMU starting to put together a little bit of momentum here finally. It's 18-10, but obviously they still have plenty of work to do if they're going to get back into this game. And that is not going to help as Hovanek launches that one past the baseline. 19-10 in favor of the visitors.
And it's only 6 points to take the game for Slippery Rock. And I got to give credit to them. They've really battled back to take the momentum. And Slippery Rock really has done a phenomenal job here in Game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. As Sarsnick pops that over, and Malcolm just does what she can to get that one up and over the net. Almost a miscommunication there, but RMU is able to play it back. Olwine over the head, just floats it back over to the Slippery Rock area. Popped over. Debucci diving for it, unable to get a hand on it. And Slippery Rock now leads 20-10. After a really close game one, this game has kind of been anything but. And I remember going back to last year, Slippery Rock, I think when they came here for just a single or like a one-on-one match, I think that was a 3-0 win for them and a best of 5.
Yes.
So I guess you probably should say they are the favored team coming into this game. So it's 20-11, but I think knowing that, I think RMU probably isn't too upset with the tie if that's the way it ends up coming out here with each team splitting a game. Although I'm sure they'd love to find a way to come back and win this one, but right now down 20-12, they still have a long way to go if that's going to be the case.
It's a long way, but it's a doable way if they continue to ride the hot hand of the serve.
Yeah, absolutely. So Olwine sends it across. Flipped over to Kate Duncan. Popped up. And sent across by Malcolm. SRU trying to regroup. They send it across, and diving for it the last second was Kate Hovanek, but unable to get there in time. SRU regains the serve, leading 21-12. It'll be London Cutter stepping up to serve here.
This is the time where Slippery Rock really needs to take advantage of this.
I also just realized
momentum.
I can't read again. It's not Cutter, it's Cutler.
Unless we get to the second game. I didn't realize it too. So to be fair, that's partially my bad.
Yeah, okay. So group effort here. It's still early, and sometimes T's look like L's, or vice versa. So apologies to her. We will try and get that right the rest of the way here, as they're saying Malcolm hit the net on the spike, which
so
is
close
devastating
there.
because that was such a nicely placed shot. But 22-12, your current score, as it'll be London Cutler stepping into the serve. Got it right that time.
Cutler.
My apologies. So Cutler with the serve. Sarsnick pops it up over to Olwine. Gives it to Malcolm, who got it blocked away, but Ely dug it out. And then I was going to say, it looked like she was going to float to the cross, but instead Hovanek spikes it into the net. And this one getting basically down to its last moments here. 23-12 your score after a 27-25 victory for RMU in game one. Right now, RMU Red actually finds themselves behind against Clarion as well, 21-19. So a rough go over there for the RMU Red folks, as the Colonials will take that point. And at this point, I think it's just trying to get the point differential a little more balanced before it's all said and done.
It's also momentum going into your next game as well. If you can find a way to just kind of figure out what works, what doesn't work, and going into your next game to take advantage and possibly take a clean sweep or just draw even again.
Absolutely. And that one saved by Malcolm. Popped up by Sarsnick, and it'll end up in the SRU side. Duncan tried playing it across, unable to do so. SRU with about 5 hits trying to keep that all horizontal with the net. And just breaking news here, RMU Red loses to Clarion in game number 2, which means they go 0-2 on that set. Yeah. A couple of close games. I believe the finals were 25-20 and 25-21, but not meant to be for that round, as Malcolm will serve it in directly to the net. And now it is match point here on this side as well.
Yeah, RMU Red, though, putting up a good fight, though, against the Clarion team that, when we watched them kind of play against Slippery Rock, I said I'm not sure who won, but you could really see both teams really dig in and battle. And probably, I was going to guess, it would probably be around a 25-23 score both ways.
Absolutely. So serving it here, it will be Jordan Burkett. Burkett with the serve. Ely popped it over. And Sarsnick plays it in. Both teams battle now. That one up, and that will do it. The shot there from Hannah Spinda will end this one 25-14. So RMU takes game 1 27-25. Slippery Rock takes game 2 25-14. And at the end of the day, another game we've watched, Caden, and another split best of 2.
I guess that you got to take the split. I mean, and like you said, a team against Slippery Rock that we know is really, really good at volleyball. Especially earlier now with IUP is a team that we've seen that has done very phenomenal as well. But Slippery Rock, I got to say, in that second game really dominated the play. But I could give credit to RMU most in that first game, coming back down by 5, tying the game up, timeout gets called, and eventually they come out with the victory. But for both sides, I think it was a phenomenal effort one way or the other between both games 1 and 2.
All right. Well, coming up next, wherever court it may be, it might be one, it might be two. We will see. But I do believe we'll catch another game of RMU Red, this time versus Duquesne. If not, it might be. Actually, it's either going to be that or it's going to be RMU Blue versus Duquesne. But I think it's RMU Red first.
But regardless, it's Duquesne.
Yeah. Either way, we'll catch you next time, or not next time, in a moment here. It'll be RMU probably Red versus Duquesne. We'll be back after this brief intermission.